What's up, y'all? It's Truth Tiger, and I'm going to talk about Satan and his tricks. And we're going to start to know our enemy and know the war we're fighting in. And hopefully, this will help you guys overcome this spiritual battle we have against the Prince of Darkness. So, Satan's first modus operandi is to try to control things in complete secrecy. The first lie of the devil is that he does not exist. That's his first big trick he tries to pull. And it's like his way is to try to have an influence and a control and a mastery and a manipulation over everything, but be completely unseen and unknown. So people are just kind of doing things. They have this framework and this structure, but they don't know where it came from. It's just kind of there. And they're following it and they're doing it. And it's what society is. It's just like, it's society, it's culture, it's government, it's religion. And there's a lot of things you look at and you're like, where did this come from? This is so weird, And I'll get into some cultural things that it's like, where did this come from, But yeah, the devil wants to be the hidden hand. He wants to rule secretly, and he is desperately terrified of exposure. He does not want to be exposed or seen or found out, and most people are just like, nah, there's no Satan, And by extension, Satan is evil. He's a personification of evil. So by extension, they're saying they don't really believe there's evil in the world, and there is a lot of evil in the world, much more evil than you'd think. And ultimately, it's evil that controls the world, and it's evil that makes the matrix of society. It is. And a couple things I want to start with in terms of the hidden hand of Satan. I mean, first of all, it's like there are many satanic religions. There are, if you want to look at like ostensible things, like people trying to, perform dark magic or whatever, like there's a lot of that out there. Like I know in the Latino culture, there's something called Santeria, and you have like voodoo and Yoruba, and you have all that kind of like traditional tribal kind of Satanism, I guess you'd call it. Then you have like Anton LaVey's Church of Satan, which is an actual satanic church, and it's more to attract, rebellious people who listen to too much heavy metal or something like that, and maybe aren't the smartest people, but are more like low-ranking, foot soldier kind of people, whatever. And then you have, the secret societies, the Freemasons, the Illuminati. You have Satanism within the Catholic Church. You have the Jesuit Order. You have the Club of Rome. There is undoubtedly a lot of Satanism in Islam and stuff. I don't know quite as much about the topic, but some sketchy things with, their prophet and all that stuff. And yeah, and then Judaism, which I came from, there's Satanism within that, within the Babylonian Talmud, and just within some stuff that's twisted up. And it's not a surprise that you have Jewish people like Jeffrey Epstein who are involved in the evilness at the top. And the evilness at the top, it's all cultures, it's all religions, it's people from all parts of the world. It's not just the white man, it's not just the Jew, it's not just the Freemason, it's not just the Catholic or whatever. People will think it's one certain group. It's a bunch of groups all operating and all working together. And they have a deity they worship. And it's not Satan, that deity is themselves. So even to them, Satan remains hidden. And they just think, oh, I my own ego, me. That's what he gets them doing, And there's people who would go to a satanic church and they'd say, we don't believe in Satan. No. It's all about, I think, what do they say? Do what thou wilt. I think that's from another tradition, Aleister Crowley. That whole thing of magic, where you see people write magic with a K, that comes from him, and he's also satanic. I've even had comments on my own videos of these people, this magic, they put a K at the end, and that's another satanic tradition, another satanic religion, And then there's the satanic influence of all all organized religions, they are all influenced by this satanic mindset, and it's like, it's more like it's what's in people's heart, because it's like there could be some guy who's maybe a Muslim or an atheist or a Hindu, doesn't really know about Jesus, but he has this idea like, I have to make sacrifices, I have to forgive others. He has this deep down thing in his heart of that. You could say that's a de facto Christian, or someone who deep down, when it really comes down to it, is a Christ believer, even though up here they haven't really heard the full story or whatever. You could say that. The same way someone who deep down here is self-worshiping, who only, who is this egotistical, self-worshiping, me kind of person, even if they're up here, God, Jesus, even if they're up here doing all that in here, they are satanic. Satan is the one they worship because they are self-worshiping. And Satan is also a self-worshiper. So by being self-worshiping themselves, they are emulating Satan. I try to emulate Jesus Christ. I try to emulate God. I try to be the student of God. They, by doing that, are unknowingly becoming the students of Satan and the pawns of Satan, and they are carrying out his will. And I'll say this, like, a narcissist is a mini-me Satan. A narcissist is a perfect example of someone who takes these principles and who I would call the narcissist like satanic priests, or I call them satanic followers, whatever, but they are people who are seeking to emulate Satan. And when you talk to them, they're not going to say I believe in Satan or whatever, but they will say like money's all that matters, or cut their throats to get ahead, or they'll talk about how they're more important than other people and they matter more, and they'll have this bad, selfish, evil mentality. And that's a satanic way of living, and there are people who live in a satanic way, most of the population, to be honest, and they don't even know it. And they don't even know who Satan is. But he's in the back controlling things, man. He literally has literal religions that most people do not know about, And like, as I talked about in my RH negative video, and don't take this the wrong way, people, but there is a satanic bloodline. And those people don't have control over that. They're 100%, good with God. They could be prophets. They can do whatever. I'm not trying to disparage the people who are RH negative, but if you look at the origins of it, it's a satanic bloodline. There's literally a satanic bloodline, and it's like nobody knows this stuff. Nobody has even a half a clue about this, And if they did, they'd be like, what the heck? Like, I saw a building in the Vatican, and it literally looks like a snake head, as if the people are saying, like, these idiots who are going to our churches are just being swallowed up by the serpent. And you see that in Protestant Christianity, you see that everywhere. All religions, you see that, where people are really being deceived into actually serving Satan and taking on a selfish, self-centered, self-worshiping mentality. And they don't do good things in their life, They don't, because they are following the hidden Satan. They are being influenced like by the hidden hand, and like everything we take in is sort of, it's like Satan is very good at psychology. He's very good at knowing how to like program us. That's what 666 is. It's a mental program running in your mind, I mean, some people feel whatever way about chakras or whatever, but the sixth chakra is the third eye chakra, the chakra of the mind. And it's like, that 666, it represents like mental enslavement, It's like, I have control over your mind, essentially. And this happens through TV, through advertisements, through religion, through everything we see, is set up in a certain way, and all the social movements like social justice, Marxism, whatever it is, even some conservative stuff or whatever, it's all kind of in this satanic, it all comes from this like it's all like satanically inspired, It really is. And that might sound messed up, like Satan inspired this, but yeah, he did. He did, and it's inspired by evil too. And it's just like people do not know because because they're so in their own ego, because they're so like, I'm right, we got to do this. Like Satan just gets people up in their ego, and they just don't even see him anymore. They're like, oh, Satan, it's not real, you know. He just gets people egotistical. They get arrogant. They get blinded, and they just completely don't see him, you know. And they're like, and they think this is all like self-service, you know. When it's like, actually, it's serving the kingdom of darkness. It's serving hell, you know. But they don't see that, you know. They don't, and it's like really. I know this video is a bit of a ramble. It's not as easy to put my thoughts together for a video like this as it is for other videos, but it's like, it's such this hidden hand. It's such this hidden control thing. And it controls, he controls everything in this low plane of society. God is the master of the universe, but Satan is the Lord of this earth. And he controls everything in this earth, all the religions, and he controls it secretly. He's not coming forth with a big strong fist up in people's face. Like, no, he's secretly in the background manipulating things. He's at the top in secret. You don't see him, and he's manipulating things. Again, through religion, through commercials, through music, through art, through entertainment. And you'll see this satanic thread in all these kinds of things, man. You'll see it everywhere where it's just like, man, this is just promoting selfishness and ego. And wherever you see anything promoting ego or self-aggrandizement, satanic programming, whether the people who made it know Satan or not. And even whatever high level, I don't know what they call them, dark Luciferians or dark occultists or whoever Epstein and all those guys are, even them, a lot of them, oh, Satan's not real. It's all me. It's all me, you know, and they'll get deceived by that. Satan is real. And on the other side of it, like on the side of actual hocus pocus and stuff like that, like I was watching a video of Ronnie James Dio. Ronnie James Dio was a heavy metal guy. He was in Black Sabbath. And you know, those kind of guys are into demons and, you know, the devil and the occult, and it's something they more do to have an edge and to be like, oh, we have to, it's part of how they brand themselves and sell their music and stuff like that. But he started to mess around with that, and you can watch this video. He summoned the demon Baal, B-A-L-L, Baal, and, or B-A-A-L, Baal, and then all of a sudden stuff's floating around the house. His wife's getting pushed down the stairs. So there is that side of it. There is that ostensible side of it too, of people who are doing that stuff. But for the most part, the true Satanists are just narcissists, you know? They're just spreading evil. They're spreading misery. They're spreading pain. They're spreading chaos. They're causing problems. And those are the real true Satanists. And it's the hidden hand of Satan that's inspiring them to do that. Like, our society just encourages so much narcissism, so much greed. Like, why doesn't our society encourage other things? You know, why is our society so, and it's like, so like, it looks good on the outside, but on the inside, it's nasty, you know? And that's how Satan works. Like, good on the outside, nasty on the inside. You know, behind everything, it's just a bunch of nastiness. And, like, you know, from this video, like, accept that there is a force of evil, there is a devil, and that he is working against us. He's out there, he's in society, and he's there in ways you can clearly see, you know? If you just look, you can see it, you know? You can see it in symbolism and things like that. And I mean, a lot of old statues and stuff are kind of like creepy and weird, you know? You'll see it in stuff like that. You'll see it in just various symbolisms in society. Like, you'll see it in things like Halloween. Like, what's Halloween? Where does that holiday come from? It's a satanic holiday, and we all celebrate it. And I'm not trying to disparage people who celebrate Halloween, whatever, you know. I'm not trying to make this some big, you know, moral and beat my chest, you know, I'm so moral. I'm not trying to make a moral crusade here, but it's a satanic holiday. It comes from some pagan Celtic kind of thing or something, and it perfectly coincides with the Day of the Dead, and you know, which I think the Aztecs did. So these people in Mexico are celebrating this holiday, and these people in, I think, Ireland and Scotland are celebrating this holiday, and it's basically the same thing. It's a holiday about dead spirits, and it's right around the same time. And what's going on there? Satanic holiday. Same with May 1st, May Day. You know, some whatever weird, I don't know, neo-pagan people, some kind of fringe people like that will celebrate it, but it's also a big holiday in communism for some reason. And like on May Day, people just like in my city where I live in Seattle, it's a pretty liberal kind of place. Like people just kind of go ham on May Day and like do all these riots and protests and stuff. Like all the big main Black Lives Matter protests and the big main Antifa protests and a lot of that nutty stuff that was happening was centered around this May 1st kind of thing, you know. So there's two satanic holidays we have on our calendar, and one of them is celebrated openly by most of society. Like, huh? Where does that come from? You know, even things like a policeman's uniform. Like, why do policemen dress like that? If I was in charge of society, I would have a policeman just wear like a pair of cargo pants, some boots, a utility belt, and a normal t-shirt, and then some kind of thing that says police on it. I wouldn't have them have this like weird formal uniform that's designed to be all psychologically intimidating and weird and like, huh, why are they all, it's weird. Like, that's a very strange outfit to put on someone who's gonna be kind of, you know, writing people tickets, wrestling around with people. Like, if I was a cop, I'd want to be like, you know, ready for action. I wouldn't want to have like a clip-on tie. Like, what do I need that for? You know, but you see stuff and just like, that's really weird. You know, why do we do that? Like, where do sports come from? Like, why do we play sports that we play? Like, a lot of this stuff is just like, you know, I could go on forever and I need to do more research before I do this, but there's so much stuff in society I look at, it's just like, this doesn't make very much sense, you know? This is very strange. If you look at NASA, that's weird too, because after World War II, we did this thing called Operation Paperclip, where we brought all the smart Nazis back to America and had them work in various scientific positions. NASA was founded by a former Nazi who, like, a war criminal who killed and tortured people in the Holocaust, and like, now he's a what? Huh? Why are we doing that? You know, there's things like that that just like, what the heck is going on here? You know, there's just the weirdest stuff like that. You know, and I'm probably gonna end this video now so I don't just ramble on too much. But I'll research this topic more and come up with some more stuff for y'all. But yeah, we have an enemy. There is a Satan, and he is trying to be unseen, but we see him. I see you, Satan. I see you. Don't think you can hide from me. You can't hide from us chosen ones. No. So, all right, y'all, that's going to be it for now. God bless, and I will see you all next time.